Greetings of the day, dear scholars. I am Assistant Professor Anurag Pandey, Head of the Department, Kalyan PG College, Sector 7, Bhilai. The fiction which we are going to deal today is Ernest Hemingway, The Old Man and the Sea. And this is going to fulfill the need of MA Semester 4, Paper 3, Unit 3. Ernest Hemingway was born in Oak Park, Illinois on July 21st, 1899. He spent his early days roaming in the woods, carrying rifle and rowing out across the river in search of big fish. After his graduation, he tried to enlist in the army but was rejected because of his poor eyesight. Then he became a reporter in a newspaper, and to keep himself close to war, he became an ambulance driver on the Italian front. He was nearly killed and was shot bullet below the left knee when he volunteered for canteen service in Italy. Then in 1952, after years of work, he brought The Old Man and the Sea, a tale of the struggle of a single old fisherman against the power of fate and the ocean. It was the story he had been trying to write all his life, and it brought him the Pulitzer Prize for 1953. And in the following year, he was awarded Nobel Prize for Literature. Among his notable works are The Sun Also Rises, 1926, A Farewell to Arm, 1927, To Have and Have Not, 1937, For Whom the Bell Tolls, 1940, and his last great work, The Old Man and the Sea, 1952. The Old Man and the Sea is a fine narrative with full allegoric and symbolic significance. Its charm lies not only in the realistic and exciting narrative, but also in its deep allegoric meaning. Therefore, it is very difficult to say whether this novel should be admired as a narrative or as an allegory. However, both aspects of this novel require a close observation. Quite a number of themes are seen in the novel, and the novel has different level of meaning. There are various aspects of the novel, and as a narrative which require attention. Apparently, the novel tells an exciting and gripping story of an old Cuban fisherman named Santiago and his adventure on the sea. The novel tells us the story of an old man's fight, first with the great marlin and then with a number of fire sea sharks. The first part, which may be called the prologue, introduces us to the old fisherman Santiago and the boy Manolin. We were told that Santiago has been quite unlucky, for he has not caught a single fish for as many as 84 days. The boy has been with the old man, and there is a deep attachment between the two. The second part describes Santiago's fishing expedition, his hooking skills, the huge marlin, his prolonged effort in trying to overcome his catch, and his finally victory over it. The third part tells us about the old man's battle against the sharks which attacked the dead body of the marlin and which eat away all his meat, leaving the skeleton for the old man. The final part tells about the return of Santiago to his hut in his utterly exhausted and broken condition. This part also tells us about the reaction of other fishermen, of the restaurant owner, and the boy Manolin. Thus, the story of the novel is about Santiago's victory over the marlin and his defeat in the battle with the sharks. The story projects the supreme heroism of the old man Santiago with the message: a man can be destroyed but not defeated. I repeat, a man can be destroyed but not defeated. The narrative of the novel has been criticized as imparable, but, uh, but the fact that is based on the actual experiences of the novelist himself. Hemingway's aim was to communicate the fact exactly, and he did it so successfully. About the old man in the sea, he himself said that he was to give us a real old man, a real fish, and a real sea. This shows clearly that realism is the base of narrative of this novel. The description of the attacking sharks is very realistic and vivid. The action of the novel, the fight of the old man with the marlin, and then with the sharks is also realistic. The action is swift, tight, and exact. Even the development of the story is balanced. The climax of the first part is reached in the victory of sharks over Santiago. The story of the great gain is counterbalanced by the story of great loss. In short, The Old Man in the Sea is an artistic triumph so far its contradictions and its narrative is concerned. The Old Man in the Sea is great not only because it is a fine narrative, but because of its allegoric significance. One has to go deep into its allegoric meaning. Hemingway himself said that if he has succeeded in making the real man, real boy, a real fish, a real sea, and the real sharks, he would mean many things. Allegorically, this novel can be interpreted in several ways. On the face of it, the story suggests the human struggle against the unconquerable forces of nature and the world. In this struggle, man always loses, but his loss gives us a sense of dignity on his part. The loss has a dignity and can be viewed as victory. Thus, the novel becomes a sort of metaphor of contest of a man and all those forces which stand in the way of attainment of the goal. In this struggle with the world, it is not only the victory or the end which matters. What is important in this case that he has braved the difficulties and struggles with circumstances to realize his object. In the battle with it is his circumstances, efforts which he puts in for the realization of the aim, which counts. In his voyage to the high sea, he has attained, cultivated some more virtues, courage, dignity, and humility. Thus, the novel tells the story of a true victory which is moral in nature. Another important aspect of The Old Man in the Sea is its Christian allegory. Hemingway has used a number of Christian symbols in the novel. Santiago has been projected in the image of Jesus Christ. He possesses the virtue of charity and humanity. He loves all the creatures of the world, including the passionate nature. He even loves the marlin which he has killed. Santiago is not only a fisherman, but also a teacher who has taught the boy manolin fishing, humility and pride. The fishes also symbolizes Christ. In fact, in this novel there are many allusions to the old man, similarities which come very close to the Christ. On landing the old man's shoulder, when he comes to the shore, on landing the old man's shoulder, his mast and goes upwards from the sea towards his hut. He is forced to rest several times on his journey up. I will repeat. He is forced to rest several times on his journey up the hill, and when he reaches his hut, he lies on the bed with his arms stretched and the palms of his hands up. The novel can also be seen as an allegory of Hemingway's struggle with his material. It exhibits in a symbolic manner Hemingway's personal struggle to write his best. Hemingway treats his art exactly as Santiago treats his vocation of fishing. Like Santiago, Hemingway is also devoted to his job as a writer. Santiago is a master fisherman who sets his fishing lines up to the mark where the fellow writers dream to touch. If luck comes to if luck comes, he would welcome it in the same way as a writer. He believes in the accomplishing his literary task with the greatest possible skills. Likewise, Santiago's respect for the great Marlin is Hemingway's respect to his literary art. In the same way, Santiago's determination to conquer the Marlin can be seen as Hemingway's determination. Santiago's battle against the hungry sharks is nothing but Hemingway's search against his bitter critics. It is a kind of answer to his bitter critics. Thus, The Old Man and the Sea can be studied as a personal parable of Hemingway. There is yet another allegory in The Old Man and the Sea. Manolin, the boy, is a symbol of Santiago's youth, which he has lost. Therefore, the old man constantly wishes the boy to be with him throughout his adventure with the Marlin. In fact, the old man tries to regain strength and courage by wishing the company of boy. The old man feels that the boy keeps him alive. The lion also serve the same purpose. They are a source of strength and courage to the old man. They are associated with his youthful time. In the same way, Santiago's recollection of the fight with the Negro is of the same nature. Thus, the story is the novel that can be interpreted as parable of youth. The Old Man and the Sea is an interesting novel, yet it is rich in deep meaning. Different critics have found different shades of meaning in this novel. Simplicity and complicity goes together in this novel. Its allegoric quality, however, is of greater significance than its narrative structure. Here we complete the theme and thus allegoric meaning which occurred in The Old Man and the Sea. So there can be two more important questions apart from this. Apart from theme and allegoric meaning, character sketch of Santiago and character sketch of the boy Manolin. So here I wish that this will fulfill your needs and have a great day ahead. Thank you.